Okay, let's do this. Let's do the darn thing.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Do this.
Welcome,
I'm ready.
everyone. My mama done told me. Yeah.
Hi.
That's a sign for play.
Play.
Mm.
You want to play, bro?
That's a sign play.
No, it's go. Play.
Play. Oh, yeah. Go. Play. That was from the Ninja Turtles, Mom.
That's from
just
the
in
Ninja
case you didn't
Turtles,
know.
Mom, in case
So
you
that,
didn't know that.
so that you don't feel.
I did not know that.
left
I would
out.
not
Left
have known that at all.
I know, but
I
we're
know, but
we're including you in
Thank
the
you.
conversation.
I appreciate it. I do
Do
appreciate
you hear
it.
an
Do
echo?
you hear
Thank
an
you.
echo?
No,
Mom, are you hearing that
Are
echo?
you hearing that
you.
echo?
I hate you.
I know. Welcome, everyone, back to another edition of My Mama Done Told Me. My name is Jeff.
That's it.
I'm the brother. I'm here with my sister, Lauren.
What's up, guys? It's
She's
me.
in the house. Lauren in the house.
Yeah.
Yes. And Mama over there. Hi, Mom.
Hey, son
Hello, son and daughter.
Datra.
and daughter.
And
Daughter.
Daughtry.
And hey, Ma,
Hi, Ma.
up there on the wall.
On the
Should I look down?
Jumbotron.
Yeah. Yeah, Mom, point at me. Point at me right now, Ma.
Are you
Hopefully
pointing?
that's the
Am
right
I
way.
pointing
I
at
don't
you?
know. Maybe it's me. You never know.
I don't know either.
There's Lauren.
No, I think that's backwards.
think it's
At least I'm
Backwards.
not over your booty.
Yeah, booty.
Over there.
Big booty
I was
Judy.
over
My
your
booty's-
booty. I've been
yeah.
over your booty over there. I was.
Nobody knows that that's what that is except
I know.
for you and
I
Lauren. Did you just boop my
Yeah.
booper? That's my booper over there.
Gross.
Anyway,
Disgusting.
so we're here today to Taco Bell a topic. Tortilla.
Tortilla. We're gonna
Tortilla.
we're gonna tortilla.
We're gonna tortilla Taco Bell a topic.
Nobody even
Nobody
knows
knows.
what that means.
Well, it's because nobody in this family can text right.
No.
Except for me.
Except for you. Yeah, you're the perfect texter. You.
Me.
No, you're not.
No, no.
No, you're not. Something funny over there, Mother?
What's so funny?
Yeah, you guys are hilarious.
Okay.
And I
Glad you
created
think
I
so.
love it.
Sheesh.
Okay,
Here
so
we are.
our Taco Bell of conversation,
Mm-hmm.
that makes no sense.
No. Uh-uh.
Let's talk about times that we've helped people we don't know, strangers. Describe a time when you helped a stranger. Lauren, I know you said before we came down here that you were struggling with this question.
I am.
Why is that?
Still struggling with this question. Well, because I think that it's hard for me as a female to help strangers.
Mhm.
Period. Like,
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable stopping if I see somebody with their hazards on the side of the road,
Mhm.
unless I'm with someone else, and that really hasn't happened a whole lot. I mean, there's been a few times in my
Right.
life where I've, been, a witness to an accident and called 911, and
Mhm.
I've never had to like give CPR.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would handle something like that. I might freak out.
Mhm.
I think I would probably be better about it than I think I would,
I
but
bet you would. Yeah.
but when I think about it in my head, I kind of like go, yeah.
But I know you well enough to know that, like, even if it's not a grandiose, like, I'm the savior, I'm helping you, and I'm, the good Samaritan kind of thing. I know if you see the lady with her hands full and two toddlers pulling on her dress, you're going to hold the door open.
Right,
For
yeah.
and that's kind of what I was struggling with this question too, because I ended up coming up with like one or two that I could Taco Bell today, but I don't most of the time it's just little things that aren't really like noteworthy, like that we're going to bring to this kind of a conversation. Mom, what about you? Was this an easy one for you to come up with something, or was this a hard question?
It was a hard question at first, but
Yeah.
then I started thinking about it and trying to think back. And then I thought of a couple times that I really did truly help total strangers in a way that it could be considered a story.
I know of times that you've helped total strangers, and can I start by telling you a time that a real quick story that mom helping total strangers?
Yeah, sure.
And Mom, if I
Maybe
steal
it's
your
one of
thunder,
my stories already.
probably
That's
not.
okay.
It's probably not. We actually, I think, have mentioned it in this podcast before, but you helped strangers who were sailors in boot camp and on the ship.
Didn't even think about
Yeah,
that. I didn't think about.
You sent letters to people who were not getting mail call, which is a huge morale boost for people.
Yeah.
You submitted people's names to like the programs that are out there to you know, I don't remember what they're called, but like the sailors in need kind of thing.
Navy
and
moms.
I know, yeah, and then the Navy moms group where you guys were sending care packages to people who weren't getting care packages even after boot camp, like on the ship and all that. So that's a big deal for anyone out there listening, and myself who were in the military. And you can feel very lonely. You can feel very isolated and unremembered. Like, did everyone forget that I'm here?
Right. Yeah.
You know, so that's a big deal. So that's one from you, Mom. Why don't you go ahead and, I know you hate starting, but
I'll start.
Last time she tried to start, even though you asked
actually,
me to start.
I know
I butted in. Okay, so the first one that I thought of, Lauren, it was when you were in high school and you were marching in a band in Nebraska City.
I was marching?
And you were marching as a cheerleader.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Cheerleader
Lauren was
marching.
a cheerleader for her freshman year.
No,
sophomore year.
Yeah.
Sophomore year. So it was whatever year that was. I went to Nebraska City to watch you in the parade. And it was a lot of fun. And afterwards, you know, you went back to Gretna on your bus and all that. And I was going back to the car and I saw a little girl who was about 9 years old. And she was standing there with tears and nobody was around her. And I stopped and I asked her if she was okay. And long story short, the bus left her because she told them that she was going to go home with her mother. And her mother had driven off and didn't know that the daughter was wanted to go home with her, and she was there with no one.
Oh my gosh.
So stranger danger stuff, you know, comes in, and the little girl was skeptical, and I said, honey, you can trust me. I'm going to find somebody to help you get to your mom or your bus. And I took her by the hand and we went and found a police officer, and the police officer radioed to somebody, and they actually used the police car to go find the bus. And they were at McDonald's they were like at McDonald's between Omaha and Nebraska City, having, you know, letting the kids eat or whatever. Yeah. And I took her in my car and took her to the McDonald's and took her to the bus stop. So that was the one story that I remember. I was by myself, you know, as a woman. There's no threat there. I know there's threats for single women. So that was the first one that I thought of.
Yeah. So on that story,
I love that.
Can I comment on that story before you move on?
Absolutely.
You know, that's obviously a really cool story. It also, you know, the things that go through my head are like, you know, time and place and person involved have a lot to do with that sort of thing, and how easy it is, or how willing people might be to, you know, trust a stranger, right? The age of the stranger has a difference. It makes a difference. You know, like if it's a 8-year-old little girl, you know, you don't have to, as a woman, you don't have to feel as threatened by that. You know, not to say that there's no situation where that could be threatening.
Sure.
But, you know, in general, it's a little bit less threatening. And then on the other side of that, the little girl, you being a motherly age, woman and by yourself, it might be a little easier for her to trust, and then trusting the police officer, being someone in uniform who you should be supposed to be able to trust, so that makes a big difference. And then, that was probably 1998 or
I think
7 or 8.
Yeah.
So
you graduated in 2000, so it would have been 7 or 8, 97 or 98.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go back that many years, 25 years or 28, 26 years or something.
Whatever it is, I can't count backwards.
How different that could be received then as it would now. Times they are a changing.
Yeah.
Would people have taken been as receptive to somebody putting their little girl in their car and driving to McDonald's? I don't know. I would.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's still some trust in the world and things like that. And obviously we know that there was zero risk there, but
right.
How receptive are people? It's just an interesting thing when I hear your story, but I'm glad you were there for her.
Because that could have gone a completely different way if the wrong person came along.
That's
right.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I thought. I thought this little girl, and it was, Lauren, there was crowds of people all over the streets. Anybody could have picked her up.
Right.
And taken her. I mean, it could have been completely different than it was.
Yeah. Did you hear anything from the little girl's school or their mom or anything? Like
no.
When you dropped her off, how did that go? Did you just let her out of your car and drive off?
Yep. No. No. Took her inside. Whatever the good luck.
Yeah, she pushed her out.
No, I did
rolling.
not. Took her in and found the bus driver, and they were very grateful. And it was a miscommunication. It was like, okay, the little girl told them that she was going to go with her mom, but didn't really tell her mother that. She thought she'd be able to find her mom after the parade because she had marched in the parade too. I think she was a little baton twirler or some kind of thing. And, and they just, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I remember. And it's been, it was pretty cool. And I really was grateful to God that he put me in that place for that time, because I think it could have been totally different for that little girl.
Well, definitely could have been.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if it's all right, Ma, I think we'll kind of go around and tell some other, and then we'll come back to your second story. Is that
okay?
Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Have you thought of one yet?
I have one. It's not very good, but go first.
So I was thinking about this in the type of work that I do, and have done. There's a lot of opportunities to help people who are technically strangers. Now, it kind of falls in line, if I'm at work, it sort of feels like this is sort of my job. It's not really helping a stranger, but at the same time,
I've helped millions of people pick out outfits at Gordman's.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it counts, but there's sometimes that things happen that, it's a little bit more than what that you had to
or
do
out
it.
of the ordinary.
Yeah. So, I've worked security, which you could consider that helping a stranger. I've worked, I do building maintenance. So, I've helped plenty of people like jumpstart their car because they were stuck in our parking lot. So that sort of thing. But the one that came came to my head right before we started recording, just this past winter, we had a really bad snowstorm in Nebraska, and we had, where I work, we closed down for a few days, and basically the snow just piled up for 2 days or something, and then my team and I had to go out to the facility and clear snow, and so we're running plows, we're running the snow blowers and whatnot, and I'm out there with Bryce and Eric and James, right? And they're guys that work with me. And this Bryce is running the snowblower, and he's like, "Hey, Jeff," and I look at him, and he kind of motions out toward the parking lot where there's still quite a bit of snow. And there's a guy walking up to the building. The lot is empty, and there's I literally had snow up to my thighs in some of these drifts and sometimes even deeper.
Well, and that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere too. So
Yeah.
it'd be weird to see somebody walking up from
Yep.
nowhere.
Yeah, and we couldn't see his car where he was because of there's some hills and some berms and whatnot. But he comes walking up. He just has a pair of jeans and tennis shoes on, and like a somewhat not like a winter coat. Like you came in wearing more coat than he has on, and it's frigid. It was one of those really cold days, and I'm like, oh, what in the world? So I trudged down there and I talked to him. And he's like, hey, we flew into town today to come to I work at a museum, to come to your museum. He goes, but I'm guessing you guys are closed. and I'm like, yeah, like, sorry you came here because, we have it all posted everywhere that we're closed. And he's like, yeah, that's all good. But I got myself stuck in your parking lot.
Oh no.
So, and I was like, what? And I look over and there's a hill. He's like, yeah, right behind that. So if you're listening, sir, you made a really poor choice going all the way around instead of backing up and going the way you came in that was already cleared. He tried to drive through an uncleared spot and he drove right through a drift, and their rental car was like a little Ford Focus or something, like a foot and a half from the ground. And they were high centered and they had spun their wheels so much that underneath the wheel had turned to ice.
Oh gosh.
So we went down there and I'm like, okay, yeah, well, whatever. So we went down there with our truck and put a tow strap on it and pulled them all the way back up the thing. And then they were able to go, and they were very grateful, and they got online and put, shout outs and all that stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
So, we were like, it's a bummer that you came here to see this museum and you're not able to.
Yeah.
But it's even more of a bummer that you got yourself stuck. And I'm glad we were out there because there's no one.
It would have been real easy for there to be nobody there to even help them. And there's nothing around within walking distance.
No.
Not even, no.
Nothing.
So he told me that he had,
nothing.
No.
He told me, well, I guess there technically is a house right there, but
Well,
but
whether or not.
if you don't know, though, I wouldn't have known where to go.
Yeah, and he told me that he had called like 3 different tow truck companies because he didn't see us up there at first because it's a big property and he didn't notice us up there. And all the tow trucks were going, I can't even promise you we'll get there today.
Right.
Because there's so many going on right now and the roads are so bad and everything. And I'm going, this guy drove through this in a little car. That's not the smartest thing in the world.
Well, I wonder where he was from. Do you know?
He told us, but I can't
I wonder
remember.
if it was like somewhere where the weather doesn't get like
It
that.
was.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's
the story.
understandable, I guess, if you don't know.
Then now you know.
Now you know.
Wise man once said.
Yeah.
So that's my story, I think.
Nice.
Anything come to your head?
Well, not anything new, but I did think earlier when Mom was talking, or I can't remember what made me think of this, but no, when Mom was talking about, I can't remember why I thought of this, but Mom, do you remember when I was really little and I fostered that little girl in Bangladesh?
I do.
Yes.
Sadina. Remember that?
I do. Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
so
I'd forgotten all about that.
Something that somebody said reminded me of that, and I thought,
Yeah.
So I think how old was I, Mom? I must have been
Really small.
I was
I
little.
don't remember 7, maybe 7.
But I feel
Maybe
like I
6?
had, was I doing, like, did I pay for it? I feel like I did, but.
Well, I don't think you did pay for it. We paid
I
for
thought
it,
I
but you wrote
did.
letters. Well, I don't know where you would have gotten the money.
Well, my allowance or whatever.
No, I don't think so. Because we sent it was
thought I
like
did.
$30 a month or something that we paid, that we sent her.
That much,
But
was it?
It was quite, Larry would know. I don't remember, but it was.
Larry would remember.
Larry still has it on his spreadsheet. he
He
could
still sponsors
hold on.
her.
Let me.
She's 35.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me open the 1994 tab on my ongoing spreadsheet. Love you, Larry.
Oh, Larry.
But he probably would.
He probably would.
Lauren, I feel like
it
that.
was maybe it was $10 or $15 a month. But I
Yeah, I
think
didn't
you got
feel like
an
it was
allowance
very
that
much.
big.
I thought it was like 25 cents a day or something like that.
Yeah, I think that if I remember right, because of Sedina, I think you like wanted to go to Bangladesh
did.
for a really long time.
I did.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you saying, I remember like not liking the word Bangladesh for a little while because you like talked about it so much.
Yeah, I remember
Bangladesh.
I even bought a book, like a travel guide at Barnes and
Yes.
Noble or something that had
The,
like all the information about what.
Bangladesh language for dummies.
No, it wasn't like the language one. It was more like a travel guide, like
What to do in
Right.
Bangladesh.
Jeez. Yeah.
The top 20 things to do in Bangladesh.
No, it was more like
Yeah, that's true.
like the capital and like
Things to know about.
what language they speak,
Do you know what language they speak?
Oh,
Bangladeshi. I think it's Bangladeshi.
I think it is
something like
for
that.
real. But like
Bangli, I think they call it
the
something.
capital, I really do think that's right.
Bangladeshi?
Let me look.
Bangli.
Bangladeshi does not sound right.
No, it
Gosh.
doesn't. However, I think she might actually be right.
Okay. Actually, she might.
Despite how weird that
for
sounds.
once in her life might be right.
Bengali.
Bengali. It was
Bengali.
Bangladeshi.
Bengali.
I don't know.
Well, it was close enough.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
Hey, y'all down here speak Bangladeshi?
why do you sound like Yosemite Sam when you
God darn it, them varmints. All right, Ma, let's hear your other story.
Okay, mine is also a snow story.
Snow
And it was when
stories.
we lived in snow story. And it was when we lived in Walnut, Iowa. And it would have been probably
I know what you're gonna
2008
say.
or-
Oh, we know what you're
do?
gonna say.
I
We
know what
all
you're
know
gonna
what you're gonna
say.
say. Oh my gosh, Jeff, do you know what she's gonna
I
say?
know what she's going to say. Do you? I know.
What am I going to say?
I
what am
know
I
what you're
saying?
going to say. Well,
Tell-
I don't remember,
tell
but I
me.
know what you're going to say. I'm just,
He's
Are you
poking
making fun of-
fun.
I was just giving you a little bit of payback. Yeah. Mhm. But I really do know what you're going to say.
Mm.
Do you?
You're going to talk about when you helped that little family out that got stuck in Walnut.
Yeah, it was more than a little family, though. It
Okay,
was, okay, so
It was
we
a
had a
big family.
snowstorm in Walnut, Iowa.
Yeah.
And at that point, the interstate was completely shut down. We had one hotel, a couple hotels right off the interstate exit. And then we had a bed and breakfast in Walnut. And I don't think we had anybody staying there that night because Larry was traveling and it was during the week and it was winter. So we didn't have anybody staying at the bed and breakfast. But I got a call from somebody in the city. I don't know, the city, town, 900 people at most. And so somebody from City Hall called and said, would you be willing to rent a few of your rooms tonight? Because the hotels are full. The gym at the high school was open, but it was full. There was no place for
Whoa.
people to be. It was completely full. And when you looked outside, all there was lined up semi trucks and cars on our street that ran in front of the road, which was kind of a state highway, but nobody could get anywhere because of the snow. So I said, sure, send some people over. So they sent over 6 people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was an older couple, and then it was 4 young people. There was, and I think the 4 young people knew each other. They were all in the same car. And I could have the numbers wrong too, because it's been a long time ago. So it seemed like there were 6 people. So anyway, they came, and it was really, I mean, they came in, and 2 of them were Black, and they had been refused space at the hotel, which really took me off.
Why? Do you know?
Yes. I think because they were black.
Racism?
I think it was racism for
Dang.
sure.
Yeah.
So I welcomed them in, and then there was an older couple too, probably younger than me, but some were an adult couple. And I gave them rooms, and they were there for 2 days. They couldn't get to their car. They couldn't get towed, just like you were talking about. That tow truck was going to take days to get them pulled out. And that's what they told them, it would be days. Then they told them it was going to be some horrendous amount of money to pull them out of the ditch. They weren't really even in a ditch. They were just in a snow mound. They just needed to be pulled out. And it was going to be like almost $300 to pull it out in cash, they said.
Jeez.
It's the only thing that they would take was cash. So these kids were trying to find the money to do that. So in the meantime, they're eating at my house. They're sleeping at my house. They're on the phone all the time trying to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to get. And I don't remember where they were from. And, we got ready to leave. And they're all like, okay, well, how much? And I said, nothing. You owe me nothing. I'm just so happy that I could help in some way, and I wish I could have helped them more. But I think they dug up the money. They got it somehow, and were able to get back to their car, and were able to do it. But I had those 6 people for 2 days that I didn't know, and we had a blast. I mean, we talked and
I remember you telling me
and-
that story and how much fun you had just hanging out with those people and hearing their stories, which was very different from most of the people that were stopping at your bed and breakfast most of the time. So hearing, I mean, that was the fun of having your bed and breakfast was hearing everyone's stories, and this was a completely new experience even for you. So I remember how much
it was great.
How much you enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was fun. And I wasn't going to take their money. I mean, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They were already all devastated because they needed to get wherever it was they were getting, and they had no money, and they were trying to figure out how they're going to get pulled out. And they were just so grateful, got big hugs on the way out. And yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
Those are my 2 stories.
There's a good, them some good stories you got there.
Yep.
Okay. So we want to know what our listeners, if you could describe a time when you helped a stranger, we'd like to hear your stories. If you want to share with us, you can reach out to us through email, and our email address is
My Mama Done Told Me podcast@gmail.com.
That is correct. And you can also reach out to us on the social medias. We've got all of those in the Shoy Noits. Those will be there. You can do the thing, and you can give us a like, and you can tell us what you think, and you can
shoot us a message.
And a like, and subscribe to things.
Like and subscribe.
Smash that like button and smash that sub button.
Leave us a comment.
Leave us a comment. Tell my mother how pretty she looks, but don't be creepy about it, because if you are, I have a certain set of skills, and I will find you.
Or your
martial arts.
Yeah. Don't talk about my sister either.
Yeah.
Don't talk about your sister.
Yep. Okay. Well, we hope you keep your minds open and you be kind to each other now. Don't you hear that? And all the good stuff.
Keep your minds open and be kind to each other.
Yeah.
And do something nice for a stranger. Yeah. There's safe ways to do it.
Safely.
You just have to be smart.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Be smart.
You have to be smart. So, yeah.
Yep. Good. Okay.
Good.
Well, everyone, be kind. Good night. Mom, love you.
I love you too. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, both kids.
I did not touch him, just FYI.
Can you touch the hair?
Oh, yeah. Don't go over the thing. Mom, you have to go down to the bottom corners of the screen. Mom, the 2 bottom corners of the screen.
Yeah?
Use 2 hands. Oh my gosh. How do I do it with How do I do it with both my hands?
I thought you guys were pointing at the middle. I didn't
Well,
see
we were
where you
at
were pointing.
first.
Okay, whatever. Put your fingers down. Okay, here.
It's my first finger,
Me
Ma.
too, Mom.
Okay, good. Okay.
This is a
One.
non-explicit show. Bzz.
Oh,
That's going to be funny. It's like